After now multiple criminal indictments, with potentially more to come, Donald Trump trying to turn them into a political sword, doubling down on his claim that Democrats are weaponizing law enforcement against President Biden's opponent, and he's been trying out a particular pitch.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of courage. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. And they want to silence me. True. They want to silence me because I will not let them silence you. That's what's happening here.
Along with the indictment of 16 fake or alternate electors in Michigan and more of those charges potentially coming on the state level, is it possible that all these indictments could all just end up helping Donald Trump, not just in the GOP primary, but even in the general election? Let's ask our roundtable. Veteran journalist Geraldo Rivera, my old pal, is here. Kiran Chetry. Good to see you, Geraldo. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Kiran Chetry, the former CNN and Fox News Channel anchor, and Tracy Byrnes, former Fox Business Network host and a reporter who's now a financial advisor. We got a lot of ex-Foxers here in the house today. Geraldo, what do you think? Do you think that the indictments and his message in particular about they're not going after me, they're going after you, could actually resonate beyond the primary?
I think uniquely in the universe, Donald Trump benefits whenever there is another count and another indictment. There's a feeling of aggrievement in his constituency, and they feel the government has been weaponized against him. So I think that it is all, I won't say it's backfiring because that connotes that they are being brought to have a political effect. I don't know that to be a fact, but I do know that if I were a Trumpy and I was watching him getting indicted time and time again, I would say, hey,
forget about the Trumpies. Forget about the Trumpies. What about the people who are going to decide this election? Is it possible that even when it comes to the general election, that there will be a sense among independents that this is sort of overkill, putting it all together?
Well, I'd be speculating about the
that's what we do here.
But true. I have no doubt that it'll help him in the primary. It'll bring him the Republican nomination, whether or not it helps him in the general.
Sure.
Well, I mean, every time he gets an indictment, there's more millions thrown into his election coffers. Yep. And I do think there is a sense that there is a little bit of a political strategy to this and that it's a politically motivated issue. However, I was also thinking that just in terms of practicality, if he is appearing in court, if he does have to pay for all these lawyers, how much time is that taking away from him on the campaign trail? And does it matter?
I don't know that it matters. But what do you? I mean,
I don't think it matters. I think it will matter, though, in the general, because eventually we start to talk about tax dollars and where are we spending them. And as the president of the United States, that's not what we want. There is a direct correlation, though, between his indictments and the poll numbers, and that's just fact. And you would think that at some point someone's going to say, "Okay, no mas with the indictments."
Right, but every time I say this to anyone who is, a media person, they say, well, that's the primary. That's just the primary. In the general election, are you actually telling me that getting indicted is going to somehow help him?
He's going to rally his base with it.
In the general election, but will it alienate? I mean, the response I keep getting is, but the independents who will decide this election are going to be tired of it. They're going to be tired of him. But I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
I had the guy get indicted, 24 times for Stormy Daniels' payoff.
Right. Well,
there's not a husband that cheated on his wife that hasn't paid off somebody or something.
Right. Well, Geraldo, you live in a different world than the rest of us, all right? I mean, but with that said, look, I think that case was always the worst case, the Manhattan case here.
It's horrible.
But when you've got these other cases where there's no doubt he did something wrong. There's no doubt.
I just think that when you used to hear, when I was younger, somebody got indicted, I mean,
right.
You thought, wow, there must be serious charges. This person must have really done something very wrong. And to hear that a president or that, even hearing like Clinton getting impeached, it carried so much weight. I think this is getting watered down more and more to the point where people don't automatically assume that it's correct or that there's any wrongdoing.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.